Alex looked around his new home, a luxurious penthouse apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows that offered a panoramic view of the city. The success of his tech startup had catapulted him from rags to riches in just a few short years. He'd come a long way from the cramped, dingy apartment he had once called home. The sound of his doorbell interrupted his reverie. "Coming," Alex called out, walking towards the door. He opened it to find his entire family standing there. His parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Their smiles seemed forced, their eyes darting around, taking in the opulence of his surroundings. "Hey, everyone," Alex greeted, a hint of surprise in his voice. "What brings you all here? Can't we just visit our successful son?" His mother said with a brittle laugh, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. As the family made themselves comfortable, Alex felt a knot of unease form in his stomach. He knew his family's sudden interest in him was not a coincidence. His sister, Megan, who had always been distant, approached him with a beaming smile. "We're so proud of you, Alex," she said, hugging him tightly. "You've done so well for yourself." "Thanks, Megan," Alex replied, his voice wary. The small talk quickly gave way to the real reason for their visit. His father cleared his throat and stepped forward. "Alex, we need to talk," he said, his tone serious. "We've all been going through some tough times, and we thought, given your success, you might be able to help us out." Alex's heart sank. He had been expecting this, but it still stung. "Help you out? How?" "Well," his Uncle Robert chimed in, "pay off some debts, maybe help with the kids' education. We could really use your support, Alex. We're family, after all." Alex's mind flashed back to a few years ago when he had been at his lowest point. Sick, jobless, and nearly homeless, he had turned to his family for help. Every single one of them had turned him away. He remembered the nights he spent on friends' couches and the strangers who had shown him more kindness than his own flesh and blood. "Family?" Alex repeated, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. "You all talk about family now, but where were you when I needed help? When I was sick and homeless, did any of you offer a hand?" The room fell silent. His parents exchanged uncomfortable glances, and his siblings avoided his gaze. Finally, his mother spoke up. "Alex, we had our own problems back then. It wasn't that we didn't want to help." "But you didn't," Alex cut her off. "I begged each one of you, and you all said no. Now that you see I'm doing well, you expect me to bail you out?" His sister Megan stepped forward again, her face flushed with embarrassment. "We didn't know how bad things were for you, Alex. If we had known—" "You knew," Alex said coldly. "You just didn't care." The tension in the room was palpable. His cousin, Julia, who had always been the peacemaker, tried to defuse the situation. "Alex, please. We're sorry. We were wrong. But can't we move past that? We're here now, and we need you." Alex shook his head, his resolve hardening. "You only need me now because you see my success. This isn't about family. It's about money." The doorbell rang again, and Alex's best friend, Tony, walked in. He had been a rock for Alex during his hardest times, offering not just financial support but also a place to stay. "Tony," Alex said, a smile finally breaking through his anger. "Good to see you, man." "Hey, Alex. Everything okay here?" Tony asked, sensing the tension. "Just having a family discussion," Alex replied, his tone icy. The kind where they remember their family when they need something." Tony raised an eyebrow but didn't press further. He had witnessed firsthand how Alex's family had treated him during his lowest moments. "Look," Alex said, turning back to his family, "I'm not saying I won't help, but let's be clear. I'm not your ATM. If you need help with the kids' education, I can set up a fund for that. But don't expect me to pay off your debts or buy you luxury items. And don't think for a second that I don't remember how you all treated me when I was down." His father sighed heavily. "We understand, Alex. We're sorry for how we treated you. But please, consider helping us." "I'll think about it," Alex said, his voice firm. "But this conversation is over for now." As his family filed out, their faces a mix of guilt and resentment, Alex felt a heavy weight lift from his shoulders. He had stood up for himself, but he knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge would be navigating the tangled web of family expectations and his own sense of justice. Tony clapped him on the back. "You did the right thing, Alex. Don't let them guilt you into anything." "I know," Alex replied, though doubt still lingered in his mind. "But it's not going to be easy." "Nothing worth doing ever is," Tony said with a grin. As Alex watched his family drive away, he couldn't shake the feeling that this confrontation was far from over. The past had a way of catching up, and he knew he would have to stay vigilant to protect the life he had worked so hard to build. The days following the family confrontation were quiet but tense. Alex tried to focus on his work, but the nagging feeling of unresolved issues gnawed at him. He couldn't shake the bitterness of his family's sudden interest in his wealth. He poured himself a cup of coffee, intending to dive into his latest project when his phone buzzed with an incoming call. "Hey, Alex, it's Megan." His sister's voice crackled through the line. "Megan," Alex replied, his tone cautious. "What's up? Can we meet for lunch?" "I want to talk," she asked, sounding more sincere than he remembered. "Sure," he agreed reluctantly, curious about her intentions. They met at a cozy bistro downtown, where Megan seemed anxious. After some small talk, she finally broached the subject. "Alex, I know you're upset about how things went down." "I'm really sorry," she began, her eyes pleading for understanding. "But there's more to it than you know." Alex leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms. "I'm listening." Megan took a deep breath. "When you were struggling, it wasn't just about us not wanting to help. Mom and Dad were having serious financial problems. Dad's business was failing, and they didn't want to burden you with their issues." Alex's expression softened slightly. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" "We didn't want to worry you. You had enough on your plate," she explained. "But that doesn't excuse how everyone turned their backs on me," Alex said, his voice rising. "I had to rely on friends and strangers." Megan nodded. "I know, and we were wrong. But now, things are even more complicated. Dad's business finally went under, and they're about to lose the house." Alex was taken aback. He hadn't realized the extent of his parents' troubles. "Why didn't they tell me this sooner?" "Pride, I guess," Megan said, looking down at her hands. "They didn't want you to see them as failures." Just then, Alex's phone buzzed again. It was a text from Tony. "We need to talk. Call me ASAP." "I have to go," Alex said abruptly, "but we'll continue this conversation." Megan looked disappointed but nodded. "Okay, thanks for meeting with me." As Alex left the bistro, he called Tony. "What's up?" "Meet me at your place." "It's urgent," Tony said, his voice tense. When Alex arrived home, Tony was already waiting in the lobby. They went up to the penthouse, and Tony wasted no time. "Alex, I found out something disturbing. Your cousin Julia has been spreading rumors about you." "Rumors? What kind of rumors?" Alex asked, puzzled. "That you're flaunting your wealth and refusing to help the family out of spite," Tony explained. Alex's frustration boiled over. "I can't believe this. First, they ignore me when I need them, and now they're trying to make me look like the bad guy." Tony nodded. "It's worse. Julia's trying to turn the family against you, saying you're selfish and ungrateful." Alex clenched his fists. Why would she do that? Jealousy, maybe? Or she wants to manipulate the situation to her advantage, Tony suggested. Alex paced the room, his mind racing. "I need to confront her." "Be careful," Tony warned. "This could get messy." That evening, Alex called a family meeting, inviting everyone to his penthouse. The atmosphere was tense as they gathered, curiosity and suspicion in their eyes. "Thank you all for coming," Alex began, trying to keep his voice steady. "I've heard some disturbing things, and I need to set the record straight." Julia shifted uncomfortably in her seat, but didn't speak. "First, I want to address the rumors that I'm flaunting my wealth and refusing to help out of spite." "That's not true," Alex said, looking directly at Julia. "I offered to help with the kids' education, but I won't be your ATM." Murmurs spread through the room, but Alex continued. "I know everyone's been struggling, and I wish things were different. But what hurts the most is the lack of support when I needed it." Julia finally spoke up, her voice defensive. "We were all going through tough times, Alex. You think you're the only one who suffered? No, Julia, I don't, Alex replied sharply. But spreading lies about me isn't the answer. We need to support each other, not tear each other down. His father stood up, his face ashen. Alex, we never wanted things to get this bad. We're sorry. His mother added, tears in her eyes. We were too proud to ask for help, even when we needed it the most. Alex's anger began to melt away. I understand, but we need to move forward together. No more lies, no more manipulation. The family nodded, and the tension in the room started to ease. It was a small step, but a necessary one, towards rebuilding trust. As they left, Alex felt a mix of relief and uncertainty. The road ahead was still fraught with challenges, but for the first time, he felt a glimmer of hope that his family could find a way to truly support each other. After everyone had gone, Alex turned to Tony. Thanks for having my back. Always, Tony replied with a smile. But remember, not everyone's motives are as clear as they seem. Stay vigilant. Determined to help his parents avoid losing their home, Alex decided to dig deeper into their financial situation. He started by requesting detailed records from the bank, which his parents reluctantly agreed to provide. Sitting in his office late one night, Alex sifted through the documents, feeling a growing sense of unease. The mortgage statements, to his surprise, showed that the house had been fully paid off for years. This can't be right, Alex muttered to himself, flipping through the pages again. The numbers didn't lie. His parents' story about financial hardship just didn't add up. Determined to uncover the truth, Alex decided to look into their other assets. He contacted a private investigator, someone Tony had recommended, to dig into any businesses his parents might own or have a stake in. A week later, the investigator returned with a comprehensive report. Alex sat down with Tony to review the findings. You won't believe this, Alex said, handing Tony the documents. They're partners in a few small businesses, and all of them are profitable. Tony raised an eyebrow, scanning the pages. This is incredible. Why would they lie about being in financial trouble? That's what I intend to find out, Alex replied, a mix of anger and disappointment in his voice. But first, I want to look into the rest of the family. With the investigator's help, Alex conducted a discreet inquiry into his other relatives' financial situations. What he discovered left him stunned. Not only were none of them in dire circumstances, but most were doing quite well. They owned homes, had savings, and could provide more for their children's education than Alex ever received. They're looking for a free ride, Alex concluded during a conversation with Tony. They want me to take on their responsibilities because they think I have the money. Tony nodded, his expression thoughtful. So, what are you going to do about it? Alex took a deep breath. I'm going to confront them. They need to understand that just because I have the means doesn't mean I should be their solution to every problem. The following weekend, Alex invited his family over for a barbecue. As everyone gathered, the atmosphere was lighthearted and relaxed, but Alex could feel the underlying tension. After everyone had eaten, he stood up and cleared his throat. I need to talk to you all about something important. The chatter died down, and all eyes turned to him. I've looked into the financial situations of our family, and I've discovered some things that concern me. His mother shifted uncomfortably in her seat. What are you talking about, Alex? I found out that the house is paid off, Alex said, looking directly at his parents, and your partners in several successful businesses. Gasps and murmurs filled the air. His father's face turned red. Alex, you had no right? I had every right, Alex interrupted. You lied to me. You made me believe you were in financial trouble when you weren't. His parents fell silent, their expressions a mix of guilt and frustration. Alex continued, and it's not just you. I've looked into everyone's situation. None of you are struggling as much as you made me believe. His cousin Julia, who had been at the forefront of the accusations, looked away, avoiding his gaze. You all wanted me to take on your responsibilities, Alex said, his voice firm. But that's not how it is going to work. You should not be relying on one person to solve all of your problems, especially when you are capable of solving them yourself. But Alex, Megan interjected, we're family. Shouldn't we support each other? Yes, we should, Alex agreed. But support doesn't mean exploiting someone else's success. It means doing our best to help our own children, teaching them to work hard and contribute to their own education and success. The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken words. Finally, his mother spoke up, her voice trembling. "We were wrong, Alex. We shouldn't have lied to you." "I appreciate that," Alex replied, his tone softening. "But things need to change. We need to be honest with each other and find ways to support one another without taking advantage. I don't know what the future holds. I could get sick again or lose my business. We just don't know what life will throw at us. I plan to get married one day and start my own family, and I need to be able to support myself in them. I know you all understand because that's exactly what you've done for your own families." As the family members slowly nodded, a sense of relief washed over Alex. "How about from now on, we focus on being a supportive family? Let's each take care of our own needs and only ask for help when we truly find ourselves in dire straits. If that happens, we'll be there for each other." There were low murmurs and some nodding heads in agreement. It wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in a long while, he felt hopeful that they could move forward. But Alex is no fool and knows some members of his family will seek to use him. He has made a promise to himself to not let that happen. If you enjoyed The Price of Family, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on our latest stories. Your support helps us bring more intriguing narratives to life. Thanks for watching.